Anything that concerns talking, please involve Mirana. She was a young woman and had never in her life been accused of being quiet. Not knowing who Mirana is seemed to be a crime because she was up and doing in everybody's business. The women knew her. The traders who passed through the village on market days knew her. The children who sat under the neem tree in the evenings knew her. Even the old men who wanted nothing to do with young women somehow always ended up listening to Mirana talk. She had a way of pulling people in without meaning to. Words just came out of her, the way water comes out of a cracked pot, constantly, without effort, without stopping. Her mother, Abena, had been warning her since she was a small girl. She told her that a woman with too much mouth would find herself in places she did not plan to be. She said it softly sometimes. She said it with anger other times. But Miranda would nod and then turn around and start talking again before Abena had even finished her sentence. The most remarkable thing was that Miranda talked in her sleep. Abena knew this because they shared the same mat in their one-room mud house. She would wake up in the middle of the night and hear Miranda's voice going low, steady, like she was explaining something important to someone in a dream. Abena would lie there in the dark and shake her head. Their life in Udua was not easy. Abena sold groundnuts by the roadside and sometimes washed clothes for the families who had a little more than they did. The roof of their house leaked when it rained. Mirana had not finished school because there was no money to finish school. She helped her mother, she fetched water, she swept the compound, and in between all of that, she was the village town crier. The village had no plan for a girl like Mirana, and for a long time, it looked like Mirana had no plan either, except to run her mouth. Abena had tried everything to stop Mirana from talking too much. She had tried scolding Mirana, reasoning with her, embarrassing her in front of neighbors, and even threatening her. Nothing worked. If anything, Mirana got louder with each passing year. Abena began to think that maybe the problem was the village itself. Mirana had known these people her whole life, and that made her too comfortable. She had no reason to hold back around them. So Abena made a decision. She was going to send Mirana to the city to stay with her younger sister, Efwa. A new place, new people, maybe that would teach the girl some restraints. When Abena sat Mirana down and told her she was going to the city, she expected the girl to be scared. Mirana had never left Udua. She had never been on a long bus ride or seen a city with her own eyes. But Mirana was not scared at all. Before Abena could even finish explaining, Mirana was already talking about what the city must feel like, what the roads must look like, whether city people were different from village people. Abena pressed a folded piece of paper with Efua's address into her hand, packed her a bag, and sent her off before she could change her mind. Auntie Efua was a kind and sturdy woman who had built a quiet life for herself in the city. She lived in a flat with her husband and 3 children, and a restaurant she ran out of a rented space not far from a busy market. When Mirana arrived at her door, tired from the journey but already smiling and talking, Efua pulled her inside and fed her. The cousins were drawn to her almost immediately. She told them stories that evening and had them laughing until their stomachs hurt. By the time they went to bed that night, they had already decided they liked this cousin very much. Auntie Efua put Mirana to work at the restaurant the very next week. She was meant to help with serving, cleaning tables, and keeping things moving. What nobody planned for was the effect Mirana would have on the customers. She greeted people warmly and remembered faces. She made jokes that landed perfectly. She had a way of making a tired person who had come in just for a quick meal feel like they had a friend in the room. People started coming back, not just for Auntie Efua's food, which was already good, but because of the girl who made them laugh every time. The restaurant got busier. Efua had to buy more chairs and tables to keep up. Efua watched all of this carefully and understood exactly what was happening. The same mouth that had given Abena headaches for 22 years was filling up her restaurant every afternoon. Mirana's birthday came on a warm Thursday in October. Auntie Efua had not made a big plan, but she had been thinking for a while about what to get the girl. She walked into a phone shop 2 days before and bought a simple smartphone. When she gave it to Mirana that morning, Mirana held it like it was something sacred. She was very excited. She had used phones before, borrowed ones here and there, But having her own was different. She stayed up that night learning every corner of it. She had been in the city long enough to understand how things worked there. She had seen young people on their phones making videos, posting things online, building audiences out of nothing but personality. She had watched some of those videos and thought, more than once, that she could do exactly what those people were doing. So she started. She propped the phone against a cup on the table in Auntie Efua's kitchen and just talked. She talked the way she had always talked, about everyday things, about village life, about the differences between city people and village people. She was funny without trying to be. Her face was expressive, her timing was natural, and there was something about the way she said ordinary things that made people want to hear more. The first few videos got a small number of views, then one of them caught, then another one. People started sharing her videos and tagging their friends and leaving comments saying she reminded them of someone they knew, a cousin, or a neighbor, or a grandmother, someone real and warm and honest. Her following grew steadily and then quickly, she started posting every day and every day people showed up for it. She never forgot Auntie Efua. She made videos inside the restaurant, talking about the food and the woman who cooked it, and those videos brought in customers who had never heard of the place before. Efwa had to hire an extra person to help manage the lunch crowd. What had started as Mirana coming to the city to calm down had turned into the best thing that had ever happened to Efwa's business. The offers started coming in slowly, and then all at once. A small production company reached out about a movie role. A food brand wanted her to promote their product. Then a telecommunications company. The money was not enormous at first, but it was real, and it kept growing. Mirana was careful with it in the way that only someone who had grown up with very little could be. She saved, she spent wisely, and when she had enough, she did not hesitate about what came next. She rented a nice apartment and went back to Ufua and brought her mother to the city. Abena arrived looking around at everything in shock. Mirana set her up in a decent room and made sure she had everything she needed. She also put a good sum of money in Auntie Efua's hands and told her to use it to grow the restaurant. Efua did exactly that. Mirana went back to school, slowly, at her own pace, fitting it around everything else she was doing. Life did not become perfect, because nothing ever does. But it became full in a way it had never been before. Her mother watched one of her videos one evening on a neighbor's tablet, sitting in the city now, in a proper chair, in a proper room. She watched her daughter talk and laugh, and pull strangers in from across the screen. She did not say anything for a long time, she just smiled. She had spent 22 years trying to silence that mouth. She had not known she was trying to silence a future.